Hello everyone, I am going to walk us through our cover pages for our summatives. So just a word to the wise, I'm actually going to take us through two different cover pages. The first one is the one that we typically use and would use normally, and I just opened it up. And the key reason why is that this page is one of the big reasons why we do so well on our assessments, our audits, and our student tracking and data and reflection. So this idealistically is the way that we would do our cover pages. So this is basically our layout here. And the test name goes here with the grade level. You have your date. You have the number of pages because in this format we're used to it being a paper format. You have the estimated duration of the test, and if you make more than one version, you put the versions here. This is the key piece, is that we place the standard underneath the Common Core standard of where we are testing, and then we put the test question number that identifies to the standard. So in this case, there were 4 questions on this summative exam, or end of term exam, 4 questions, and 1, 2, 3, and 21 all dealt with this standard. So if you go down to the next one, question number 4, 5, 6, and 22 aligned with this standard. And we continue that down until we have all standards listed, as well as all of the test questions, which is 25. Now, one of the great things about this is while we pass this out at the beginning of the test, at the end of the test, after it's been graded, our students actually go back and they color in the questions they received correctly. So in this case, if they got question 1 correct, they would color it in. If they got question 2 correct, they would color it in. If they missed question 3, they would leave it blank. But if they got question 21 correct, they would color it in. This is a perfect way for our students to see which standards they're getting mastery on and which standards that they need more support. So one of the best things to watch is kids who get to black out the test, which means that they've colored all of these in. And then they turn around and fill out the total number they got correct, what that fraction is, what that decimal is, and then what is their percentage on the exam. And then the students are able to write their own self-reflection. Like I said, this is a standardized summative, once again, midterm and end of term test assessment page, which we use all of the time, as well as going through many of the audits or inspections that we've gone through. This was a phenomenal resource that was loved over and over again because our students are able to now be self-reflective and talk about it, and it really was not cumbersome, and it became part of our regular classroom protocol. What has happened is we're moving to this one because Schoology at this time does not have a way for students to see how they individually have performed on an exam. Once they are able to change or update that, we're going to go back to the first page. So for this time being, you still see the same layout, but this time we have our standards, and we're just going to put down the number of questions that are aligned to that standard. So for this one, it's 1 question. So not necessarily the number of the question. For instance, if you look at this standard, it says question 1, 2, and 3. That means there's 3 questions on this test that align to the standard. We don't put the number of the question because with Schoology, the questions can be randomized and we can't memorize that piece. If you choose not to randomize, you still can do the other one. But until our students are able to look at their scores, we're not going to be able to monitor their own self-reflection. So this becomes now a teacher-based outline that we put in for our records. And we need to know how many questions you did for each standard on the test. And then the details of the exam is the total number of questions, the total number of standards, and have there been any standards that were retaught, meaning that they were failed before and we wanted to reteach that standard so our kids can show better mastery. And if there are, you would write down those standards. That is the basis behind our cover sheet, our summative assessment pages that we use at our school to help our students understand what they're doing, to help us understand our outline and what we're trying to do. So if there's any questions, make sure you comment below and I'll be here to help you. Thank you so much for a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to share best practices with you once again.